Welcome to There Are No Words, but we have a few. A podcast created by three mothers bonded by the unthinkable, losing a child. I'm Anastasia Brown,
joined by Huie and Valarie Allyn Bienas.
We each have received the call that shattered life as we knew it, whether through suicide, addiction, or mental health struggles. People often don't know what to say to us, so we started saving ourselves. In this space, we speak raw truth about grief, love, and the long road to healing. They say grief shared is grief halved. We're here to share it with you. We recorded these first episodes in my music room, not as experts, but as mothers surviving the unimaginable. If you found us, you're not alone. Join us, for there are no words, but we have a few.
To lose a child is an absolute instant realignment of your soul purpose.
100%.
Without a doubt. And not to mention the radical lesson about time.
And, how often do you say goodbye to somebody and, just go, oh, we didn't finish our conversation. Oh, we have time. We'll get to it later or something. It makes me think every time, because I will say that to John when he's going out of town. Oh, we have time. We'll get to that later. And you don't know. And
no, you don't. I say I love you to everybody I love. Every time I hang up the phone with them, I say it to you guys all the time. And sometimes you can hear someone be like, well, why did she say I love you?
No.
But it's I lost my dad first, opposite of your experience. I lost my dad and then soon after lost Rosino. And they were both sudden, just gone. Mm-hmm. And I didn't say goodbye. I would give my life to have that moment.
Oh. What about in the beginning when you see them everywhere? I don't know how common that is, but in the beginning, I'm going to cry. Mm-hmm. I saw Ryan everywhere. Mm-hmm. Every large, bearded, blonde guy with a baseball cap.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. Mm-hmm. I saw Rosino in waiters, in people walking down the street, the kids skateboarding, all of it.
Yeah, Wilson had a really unusual walk. He walked almost like bear-like. And so if I see young men walking like my son, it takes my breath away.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, within this will always be deep. It will always be heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right. So let's.
So there are no words. There are no words, but we have a few.
I'm Anastasia Brown. I'm a newbie here with these beautiful women. I lost my son a year ago, and my sister before that, and my dad a week after we buried my son suddenly died, and I never got a goodbye. I never got to say goodbye to three of the most important people in my life. So, due to the fear of getting stuck in grief, here we are going to do a podcast together. Three moms. Three broken hearts that we're trying to somehow keep mended together.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we'll never fill that hole, but we don't want to fall into the hole.
Love that. So true. Mm-hmm. Yes. And tell me your name.
Who are you?
I am Huie, and 10 years ago, I lost my son, my 27-year-old son, Ryan, to suicide. And it was sudden. It was a very quick matter of a few days when his behavior changed. It hadn't been a lifelong struggle with mental health. And to this day, the only thing we can think of is that it was his first introduction to manic depression. And the three of us have come together because, as different as we are, we look at the world in the same way. We want to grow after this pain, and we want to be able to find words that resonate out into the ether, that the people who feel alone, that don't have the blessing of being around other people to talk to, can hear when they need it.
Yeah.
Because we have each other, and I would be lost without people who could hear my words, my truth, my authentic.
And understand
Grief.
our new
Yes.
hearts.
Yeah.
And to be able to laugh again.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Okay, so to speak to that, it's a lot, I find, or I feel like it's us being able, to land together in this room and be able to turn cameras on and be vulnerable and raw about our grief has taken a lot of work in our processing of grief, in our processing of new self in grief, and our processing of manifesting. Like it's been such a courageous journey that each of us have been on individually to have landed here. As I would imagine anyone who has lost a child, it's brave to just re-enter another day, let alone to land here. But the desire and the knowingness, I think, of us collectively as mothers, it's a gift that we have each other. I don't feel like we've been given a choice. Like, I feel like I'm so drawn to wanting to share this pain and the possibilities of a journey that does represent like a quality of life that's just different than what you know. Like, to be able to share that with another human, even with you guys, has been such a cool relief for me. You know,
Well, it's like if we didn't do this, we could possibly wallow in our grief for far too long.
Oh,
and
eternity.
Our children don't want that for us.
No, they do
They
not.
just don't.
They do not.
No.
Absolutely, like, just live. That's Rosino. I'm Valarie, and I lost Rosino 7 years ago. He was 24, heroin overdose, artist, incredible philosopher and musician and painter, just a heart soul, just a pure heart soul. Came in with so much information. And I sort of feel now like where I'm at in my grief, because I'm 7 years deep. I'm cool with the understanding and the knowingness that he completed what he intended for his life to be. Like, for me, I'm just pissed and frustrated and angry that he left before me. And if I could swap out with him, I would have gone and said, Z, please, you just live, you know, but in reverse, he would have been in a different kind of pain, you know, like the pain that we're in for our parents, the loss of our fathers and your mother. And so, but like, the gift in all of this is
There is only one gift losing a child. And my son, Wilson, Edward Constantine Pruitt, was just turned 30 before he overdosed. The only gift I can see is the huge desire to help other people that are feeling the same kind of pain as we do.
Yeah.
And I've always been purpose driven, but such huge losses compelled me to be extremely purpose driven. And I think I'm a better friend. I think I'm a better daughter to my mom.
I think it grows your empathy when you've gone through that pain, and your compassion. You know, it's that famous quote, "Be kind, we are all fighting a great battle." It makes you really feel that way, because you know the mask you put on.
Oh, it's exhausting.
So it helps you understand what everybody else has put on before they've gone out into the world.
I know, we've got to just be cool. You know, like, I think that the conscious shift on the planet is that it's the next big thing that needs, well, I would love to have happen on the planet, is that we can walk out of our front doors in our true, authentic selves and just be honest and cool with each other. Like, I know that's ridiculous and dreamy, but like, it's, but it is. We spend so much time pretending, like, shoving ourselves into these different sectors and quarters of our inner selves so that we can, you know, put the right character on for the right situation, and that's suffocating.
Yeah.
Well, the last time we saw Ryan when he came in the door, it was shocking, the transformation. He looked borderline homeless, like shoes untied, socks didn't match, just very bizarre. And we asked him about it, and he said it was a reverse peacock, and that's the name of our fundraiser that we throw, is the Peacock Invitation, because he was so adamant that he didn't want to have to play by society's rules. He said, I want people to love me for who I am inside. And you just go, yay. Me too. The hard
so
thing
sweet.
is,
That's so
we
sweet.
live in this world that's not quite there, and you might have to rein this desire in to play by the rules. And we had no clue the struggle he was going through. He was just trying to, show his true colors, if
Yeah.
you will.
I have Wilson's diary, and reading his diary after his death, I saw how much internal struggles he was having. I mean, he was so cruel to himself. He never told me his diagnosis, if it was bipolar or depression or he just didn't want to talk about it at all. For 8 years, he did take I think he was taking Lexapro for his mental health, and he didn't do drugs for 8 years, and he saved hundreds of lives. He saved hundreds of lives, and then he didn't tell anyone he stopped taking his Lexapro. He didn't tell anyone he started doing drugs again. But his behavior was like, he started being mean to even his grandparents, because before, when he was on the right path, he was an amazing brother, son, grandson, and his heart was so big. Like anytime he owned detox centers with his dad, and anytime he could scholarship someone, he would. If they couldn't afford help, he was going to make sure they got it. And so his heart was huge. But then it's amazing how, if you're not on the right path, you're no longer the same person
At all.
And,
At all.
And my son became mean at the very end. Mean
Mine
to
did too.
everybody. He was mean to everybody in his life, even those he loved with all of his heart. And I was worried that God was preparing me to lose him, because would it be even more painful if he was so kind the last time I saw? I didn't even know where he was, but
I kind of think that sometimes, and I have a question I want to circle back to, but I think sometimes, well, at least the way I experienced the unraveling through Rosino's addiction, and the good times, the bad times, and all the things that, like, that like my life crisscrossed with, the people, the situations, I can see now in looking back that, like, there was the soul setup of, like, different situations that offered me the feeling or the knowingness to feel that, oh my God, I might lose him, or I'm going to end up feeling like this way. For example, and I'll try to shrink the story down, but I met this woman on a trip, and I went to get a pineapple juice or a juice at this little bar, and she was at the end bar stool, and she was gorgeous, just stunning, and all natural, probably like 10 years older than me, but just stunning, beautiful, no surgery, just gorgeous human. And kind of just, I was so propelled. There was nothing that was going to stop me to meet her. Just put it that way. I just felt like I had to meet this person. So I went down there and sat right next to her and was trying to play it cool. I was like, kind of got her attention. I said, I just have to say, you are so absolutely gorgeous. And then we kind of started, and she thanked me, and we started a little chit chat, and she was just very polite and gracious with me. And then I asked her, deeper into the conversation, oh, so do you have any kids?
And was this before or after you lost your son?
This was before I lost C. And kind of talking about the soul setup and little signs of knowingness, even though you don't know until you know. And then she looked at me and she said, She took a deep breath and she said, I lost my son when he was 24 in a skiing accident. And she was very stoic and graceful. And I felt like such an idiot. And I felt like embarrassed and foolish to have asked that casual question now I know the impact of that question.
Right.
Where you're like, don't ask me that question, please, God.
The first time someone asked me if I had children, I didn't, because I only had one child. I did not know how to answer that question. And I just finally said, yes, he died a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And it just took the air out of the room. Mm-hmm. It was just it was awkward for them. It was awkward for me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tricky question. So in that answer, I stood there and I got goosebumps and I flush, and I had this visceral reaction that I would know how she felt.
Wow.
Or I felt like that would be me one day. And it was just like a message that would be me one day. And I went, oh, Valarie, that's your paranoia, because obviously you have so much worry when your son is struggling with addiction, or your daughter or anyone in your life is struggling with addiction. And there's a lot of constant worry. So I thought, oh, you're letting your worry get the best of you. But no. It could take, I have signs all over the place, but I sort of feel like I was being prepared in a way for that impact. Yeah. Oh, that brings me to my question. Yes. Do you guys feel, going back to when souls leave young, do you feel that your sons completed their mission on the planet? Do you have any of those feelings about it?
I don't feel like...
I definitely do. Okay. I mean, it's one of the ways I find peace, is that belief and that faith that he came in the moment he was supposed to come in, to the parents he was supposed to be born to, and cemented John and I together, and that he finished what he needed to do here. And if you want to, start talking about channeling and messages we've gotten, he has, through a medium, said, I'm getting way more done up here. And my faith is that he is in heaven, near God, getting stuff done, trying to help other people in whatever way. And to get more firm on explaining that, I don't see him with like a yellow pad going, check, I helped Frank today, but I don't know what it looks like. But I truly feel that his job here was done. Would I change that? Would I have questions for God? God, you got some splaining to do?
Yeah, I've never been mad at God until
but I don't understand, and we know there's no way we could understand. Yeah. I barely make it through a week. I go day by day as it is.
Wilson, when before he got healthy, I had to let him go homeless. From my Al-Anon sponsor forced me to do that, and he actually, after he hated me, he actually thanked me, and he said that saved his life.
Yeah.
He was doing so much good that I hope was my fuel. After he stopped taking his depression medicine or whatever, Lexapro, and after he started doing drugs again, my hope for him to get back to those, because he was for 8 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
A long time.
It's a really long time.
So I hope, when I was worried about him that last year of his life, I still had hope for him to get back to that.
Of course, yes.
And I felt like he did not expect he would overdose in Mexico. He did not expect, I know he thought he was gonna beat it.
That is a whole new generation of young people with fentanyl now.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That's just changed it a whole lot. As an addict, you tend to feel omnipotent. in general. But, you know, fentanyl had just the randomness and how little it takes. You know, I feel that's just, you know, taking more kids out than ever.
Yeah.
And it's,
But I do know from reading his diary, I do know he's finally at peace in heaven.
Yeah.
And
Heaven feels like it's going to be a very peaceful place. I hang out sometimes with him up there,
Yeah.
or over there, or through there.
And he actually, he speaks to me like he does to you. And he said, he still calls me dude. And I'm like, Wilson, I'm your mother and I'm a woman. Please don't call me dude. But he still does in heaven. He's like, dude, you know, I'm actually able to feel your love here where I am, where I couldn't feel any love on earth.
wow,
Oh, that's
that's
beautiful.
such an amazing thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Also, it's okay. Sorry, I just got a big thought. I gotta bring it in. But it's also like it's so like realigning with faith. Like on a good day, I could take that information and feel like invincible.
Yeah.
Like it's all cool. This is gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
they're right there. They're like I really can grab onto that.
Right.
And obviously on
On a
bad
good day.
days, you're just like, oh my God, I'm human still though. So you're kind of caught between these two worlds.
Yeah,
and-
it's forever world, and he's happier now.
Yeah.
But
Right.
never seeing your child ever again.
Right. That's, you know, that when you start
Mind-blowing.
going down that road of, and he'll never, and I'll never see his kids.
They'll never have grandchildren.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does. That can just drag you down. Or
That's a rabbit
even,
hole.
I mean, I can even just get stuck on, I wonder what he'd look like now.
Yeah.
Because it's been 10 years for me. So,
Right.
yeah, what would he have been like and all that.
And it's funny because I had a narrative with myself this morning where I caught myself in the act of just in my thought process. I'm in the garden having coffee, talking to my dad, on the other side because I miss him, and I'm like, my garden doesn't look good, Dad. What would you do? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I kind of had this melancholy wave just crash into me, and I was like, oh, I just would love to see you, Dad, because I don't grieve my father very often because I'm so busy grieving Z.
That makes
Like,
that
so
makes
crazy.
a lot of sense.
I know,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, it's so wonderful to think about you, and I miss you, and I kind of started getting welled up. And
Well,
I'm
and
like,
to put a timestamp on this, tomorrow is Father's Day.
oh,
It'll
how
be my first Father's Day
interesting.
without my father.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
Sorry,
interesting.
I didn't.
should see. He came to tell me I'm here.
Yeah.
Right, he did. And so I caught myself in the, all those little thoughts like, you're not here, I'm never going to see you again. What would you look? I did that whole thing this morning just about my dad. And then I was like, you know what, Valarie? Zip it right now.
Yeah.
He is with you right now. You were just talking to him. He's always coming through whenever you have a reading or a situation with a medium or whatever. He's always there. So change it for yourself. And I was like, okay, Dad, instead of where are you? I was like, okay, we've got to blah, blah, blah. And, so he's breathing life into my garden now instead of me going, where are you? I need you.
Right.
And it's not just I need him for my garden. It's just kind of what triggered me. The small things trigger you, right?
No, they do. It's incredible.
It just,
The
and
littlest thing will just surprise you.
But I believe so deeply that if you can, in one of those moments when you're going dark, like you're closing those shades and you're like, I'm going to go dark right now.
Yeah.
You can catch yourself and realign with, Wilson is at peace. Ryan, he completed his life's mission as Ryan as a human. And likewise for me, I mean, Rosino left me with poetry, an incredible vision when he died or when he crossed over, and he crossed over in New Orleans, and he was a musician and obsessed with jazz. He taught me about jazz from before my generation of music. I mean, he was obsessed with incredible what I call sad jazz, like Miles, like Paris phase and all that. And he left me with, one of the last things he gifted me was a list of all of his favorite jazz.
Oh,
he
wow.
hand wrote it and said, here, I want to give this to you. Another goodbye, another sign, like I need to write this down for you. And I still have that list. But he passed in a beautiful pied-à-terre, if I'm saying that right, in New Orleans with the door open on a courtyard with this gigantic oak tree that used to, was like the slave area of New Orleans. So there were slave ghosts everywhere, this incredible oak tree. The door, he was surrounded, the woman who owned this was letting him stay there while his new apartment was getting fixed. And she had like all of the great writers, all of the writers he was obsessed with as a kid, from you name it, Henry Miller, the list goes on and on and on and on, Bukowski, you name it. And he did his little last, heating up of, I don't know exactly how to use heroin, but he heated, and this beautiful silver spoon from France, and it was extremely poetic in his New York Yankees cap and surrounded by his vibe, his jazz thing. And I feel like he wanted me to have that experience when I went to have to claim him, in New Orleans at the morgue. He wanted me to circle back where I picked up his things in this incredible poem that would have been so Rosino, like it was so him. So another way, like Wilson said goodbye to you with Mimi and a pink rose. Rosino said goodbye to me with this courtyard of what he would have said courtyard of slaves, because he was so heartfelt. And so he saw people as equal, and he was so fair, and he would go to protests to fight for all the right things. He was such a cool dude. So he left me that gift. And so on dark days, I hang out with those thoughts that soon I'll be there, with you guys. We'll all get to hang out with them over there at some point soon, and I totally believe that. Those are the thoughts that pull me out of the darkness.
I wish that I would have gotten some kind of a goodbye. I didn't.
Me too.
Yeah. I didn't. There's the things that I found in his apartment was painful. Mm-hmm. It was just harsh, and to think about the way he was living his last year or so of his life. We
had other people clean out Ryan's house because they just said, this is not a good idea for you.
Yeah. My Wilson's dad and me and my parents had to. Oof. Yeah, same with my sister, and my mom still hasn't cleared out anything of my dad. So there's just so many memories everywhere I look. I can't even think about the last year of Wilson's life.
I had a similar drug addiction. It's like soul sucking. He wasn't himself through that at all. I know, because I have to look back and go, okay, I forgive me too, and I forgive you too. I forgave the situation because I couldn't pull him out, and he was also mean, and I felt so helpless.
I know. Well, you are. Yeah. We are helpless
completely, and
even with mental health. Young men are told to be strong, not to ask for help. Man up. I bet there are and of course women too, but I think even more, there are young men suffering out there in silence. And that's one more reason we're doing this. So we're not going to suffer in silence.
Right.
And we're going to share each other's heavy weight.
And also kind of try to cut through the information that's been helpful for us in the most positive way, and books and music. We have such high hopes for this, because there are so many books out there about grief and grieving, and many of them are just total waste of time.
Yes.
And so, that is our hope and our dream going forward. And music for all three of us has been such a healing balm. And, you were talking about Z's love of sad jazz, and it is... Sometimes music is the only thing that can help you get to your feelings and emotions when you lose the words. And so,
Funny story. After my year of loss, I'm a news junkie, and I was broadcast journalism major, so I would watch the news all the time. Well, the news is pretty depressing right now.
Right. I was going to say, this is not a good time.
So after all that death, I was still watching the news.
Yeah.
And I was praying to God, and one night, and I said, God, please, how am I going to survive a whole lifetime of this sorrow? Please, would you speak a little louder? And he responded, would you get a little quieter first? and so I'm like, okay, I'll take that note. I'm not going to watch the news. Because I would wake up and turn on the news. Now I wake up and I either read Healing After Loss.
A really good book.
Healing
Such a
After
good
Loss. Or I listen to music.
And
Instead of the news. And so every day we have a choice. Do we want to just stay in grief, or do we want to fight to get past?
See, that's very powerful. It took me a long time to realize I had a choice. It took me a while, and it is painful as it can seem, and as far away as that thought can seem, you really do have a choice in grief. You really do.
So I get a daily email because I was going, it was so dark and I was getting so wrapped up in it. And it's called Nice News. And it's just nice news from around the world. Good things people are doing.
I like the Good News app too.
I mean, it is, but it is very much a choice. It is very much a choice. And your computer has the algorithms. So if you're going dark, they'll send you more dark stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that's
good
so crazy
point.
and true.
Really good point.
Yeah, so
be careful what you Google.
Yeah.
Right, yes,
Because,
yes.
like whatever we put into our hearts and souls is just like whatever you eat. Causes you to be healthy or unhealthy.
Yeah.
And whatever content we put into our hearts and souls and minds, that's going to impact.
Well, it becomes the reality you live.
Right.
We're manifesting our life experiences through choice of thought, emotion, and then eventually action.
Yeah.
So we all talked about that we had tried survivors of suicide or grief groups before, and how dark and heavy they felt, and that was not how we saw ourselves going forward.
Yeah.
Can I share our experience?
Yes,
I'll
please.
be very, but
And that's what we want this podcast to be.
yes.
It's not just moaning and whining. It's like, how do we
tools.
live again?
Warrior through this.
We have a few words.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we do have a few words. And so going back to the group, Dawn and I had kind of rekindled after knowing each other sort of through work, et cetera. And we hadn't seen each other for years. And actually, John, Dawn's husband, was the first phone call I made after I lost Z.
Oh, wow.
Because I knew he had knowingness of how that felt. He was the only human I actually wanted to talk to, because I said to him that day, the first time I talked to John, I said, I want to become friends with Dawn. I said that to him, and that it took a couple years later where I accidentally ran into Dawn, and then
No, we met for dinner once.
It was
West
early
End.
on.
It was early on, and it's funny, we talk about those pictures, and I remember it was raining because you forgot your umbrella and all this. And we had a really good dinner, but it just wasn't the right time for us to keep it going.
and we found the right time. The right time found us.
Exactly,
Time is a very powerful, unpredictable.
Yeah, so Dawn and I used to be in a couples Bible study together while we still had our family intact, and I don't know if it was you or John when John heard about Wilson's death.
I'm sure it was John, because he
all of a sudden I
had
got
your
a text.
information.
Yeah. And but our common loss has brought us even closer together, and then Dawn introduced me to you. You have to tell them the angel story, the three angels.
Oh, the angels.
Yes.
Yeah, and because
good.
I know before I sadly lost my family, you were thinking about doing this podcast.
Yes.
And it just wasn't crystallizing, and then sadly I came into the picture,
You were the missing
And
link,
you were the
sadly.
missing hair color in a painting that I bought several years ago with 3 very evocative angels. They're not happy, they're not sad, they just are looking wistful and together.
Your color hair, my color hair, and your color hair.
I know they're beautiful, which you will see because we'll put it in the podcast.
Yeah, and I think another thing we want to do for the podcast is offer solutions.
Well, solutions, because
You know?
I wanted to ask that. I was kind of just waiting, and then I wanted to circle back, and because you had mentioned books and music and stuff, but let's go back there for a second, because the question that I wanted to ask you was initially, like, up front when you started to reach out, is there something that, like a book or a piece of music or something that just really pushed you into that? Okay, I found a direction, I found something to grab onto. Is there a specific book or anything that you could point out that was helpful at the beginning for you?
Oh my gosh, that's tough, because in the beginning we were gifted piles of books, and many of them were
I still have a million books.
were about people who had gone to heaven and come back, and people thought that would be helpful.
The near-death experience.
The near-death experience. Oh, it's wonderful. It's great. Look, you have nothing to fear. And I'm like, no, he didn't come back.
Yeah.
I don't want to read these stories of, whew, it was
Right.
great and wonderful, but yeah, I'm glad I'm back. And it took a long time. First off, before I could concentrate on a book, I think.
That's right. I couldn't read books.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean,
Long,
that
long
was a
time.
big deal. It was more like daily devotionals and
Yeah.
of all different belief systems. Mark Nepo has a great daily devotional book. Melody Beattie has a great daily devotional book. And her area of expertise is codependency. And that, for me, became an issue of trying to, get firm in who I am on my own.
Okay.
Without always being, Brian's mom or Jason's mom or John's wife.
Right.
As we've talked about, is defining who I am going forward.
Interesting, because we could potentially become codependent with grief.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
That just
totally can.
Aha moment for me, because sometimes I feel like if I have these moments where I feel the easing up of grief and I want to just grab onto it, because if I let go of that pain, somehow I might let go of Rosino. I have this weird thing.
That's
I think everyone, every parent
really
has.
common.
Grief is a relationship.
Yeah.
It really is.
And that's
Yeah,
how
it
you're
is.
like, oh, I love him so much, because we're taught with great love comes great grief. So if the grief isn't great, does that mean my love is no longer great? And that's
That's a big bridge to cross, even if you're not, because you can be conscious and intellectual about it, but to actually have it be part of your soul, to get there, is to let go of that thought of, if I let go of that grief, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hanging on to it because it means I'm with Rosino all the time. Like, to let that go and rearrange the relationship, it's like basically, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break up with grief tonight.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. I've had enough of you. You're out of here.
It's true. And then tomorrow we'll step on a different landmine and we'll go right back into it.
very
I
much,
mean,
yeah.
like all those anniversaries, like
Oh, they're tough.
yeah,
They're very tough.
My sister's birthday, my dad's birthday, my son's birthday. I mean, just anniversaries trigger me.
And it can be something random. I had a really rough time, and it sounds weird, but Anthony Bourdain and, oh my gosh, now I'm going to blank on the purse woman.
Kate Spade.
Kate Spade.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 2 suicides pretty much right back to back of people who seem to have it all and be
Sure.
amazing, people who were out in the world. For some reason, that just got to me. It's like, it could happen to anybody, anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, things just aren't the way they seem. Our society has developed, this kind of fake presentation of what life should be like. It's not. Pain knows no boundaries, as we know through grief, and suffering knows. If we would just shake away all these preconceived ideas of success or this or that, or beauty, or that's a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And just recognized each other as these vulnerable, beautiful humans trying to sort out for whatever schooling we're here for, because I really do believe this is some sort of a crazy universal test or some zone to practice some new knowingness. I'm not even quite sure. I'm trying to figure that out. I'll be on the other side before I figure it out. When you're on the other side, you already know. So whatever. But it's we all, no matter what level, we're all in pain. Mm-hmm. And you just, we set ourselves up so much like that person looks happy, so then you feel less happy, or that person seems to have, you know what I mean? And then you're like, you kind of
that parent has not lost their children,
Yeah, and then it spins out. So it's kind of just really honoring where you're at as a human and being brave enough to say, okay, I am perfect in my imperfection, and I'm going to really viscerally feel this love for myself. And you can kick through anything when you're feeling love for yourself, because love is very forgiving.
I think with huge loss gives us wisdom.
Well, it's a freedom of recklessness almost. It's when you have nothing to lose.
100%.
You're excuse this expression, but fuck it.
Yeah.
I feel like not reckless to the point of self-sabotage, because I feel enough self-love to not want to do that. But it's kind of like, what do you have to lose?
I've lost the most important part of my entire life.
Yes, yeah.
And that lesson realigns you as already to be the greatest reckless you could be. You're reckless with, I'm going to love myself, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to conquer that, or I'm not embarrassed to say this.
Or we're going to actually do a podcast.
Yeah, seriously.
I wouldn't have done a podcast before.
For a while, what was that society called? The Purple Hat Society.
Oh, yeah.
It was when women hit a certain age, they're like, I'm going to wear red and purple together. And it was this whole idea that whatever, this is what I want to do. I've earned the right.
Yes.
To do this, and it is.
Pain is powerful.
Yeah, it is a kind of.
It can destroy you or
change. You can lose some of the scales
that
have been holding you in.
Yeah. Well, that's what this podcast is to me, harnessing that power.
Yeah.
And that bravery. Going back to, oh my God, we're doing a podcast, right? You go, okay. Typically, I would be self-conscious, or I would pick myself to death, oh, that was a stupid thing to say, or that wasn't smart, or that wasn't meaning, blah blah blah. And now it's just just don't, because how much more time, I think that might be one of the biggest motivators of mine now, is how precious time is. Mm-hmm. Time is like that true bag of gold.
Truly.
In the good, the bad, the ugly, the fight over the bag of gold, poof. Time is the bag of gold for real. It really is.
It is. And relationships.
Love,
without a doubt. Time, relationships, that's
Trust.
All that matters, really.
Because we're given, I totally believe that we're given a special and individual gift of knowingness and wisdom when we come in. And, if this doesn't activate it, I'm so activated on wanting to align with, okay, because I'll have these types of conversations with God. Okay, send me a list, man. I'm ready to get my life mission done. Let's get this going. If it's, and I want to speak for you. I want to.
I do too.
I do. Bring it on, right?
So I'm a dog on a bone right now.
Yes.
I am not going to do anything without meaning anymore. I work in the entertainment industry, and I look at 31 years of helping artists become the artists they want to become, and they're or helping a movie sound perfect. But did that artist that I helped establish, did that movie change any lives? Did it hit anyone's heart? Some of my career, yes, I think it impacted hearts, but 100% of my future is going to be trying to impact hearts.
Without a doubt.
And making sure no one feels like an elephant in the room, which is how I have felt for a year and a half. People don't know what to say about, I mean, since there was 5 of us and now there's 2 of us, people don't know what to say about my sister, my son, my dad, and I feel like the elephant in the room where I go to people who knew my whole family. And I don't want to feel that way. And the only way you put anything in the shade, it grows bigger. Yeah. If you put something in the darkness, like my son's fear of being bipolar or his addiction or anything you put in the dark, it grows.
Oh, definitely.
And you throw light on being an elephant in the room or a topic that no one wants to talk about, then it's not going to swallow me whole and take me down with it. Yeah. You know?
I see you walking into a room. I just have this vision. I just have to, and I think you're sparkly anyway, but I just have this vision of how you, with your loss, and I mean this with such love and light, you're the sparkly strong one now in the room. Like you walk in with information and knowingness and can lead. Like those that are confused what to say and what to do, you have the power to almost lead and manage that elephant because your strength is stronger than what they know to do with you. You know, like, I don't know, am I explaining that right? Is that making any sense?
It does. It makes 100%.
I just saw that, like, because I
and
feel...
your words have more weight.
Yes, and can have light.
Because you're still here and you are still... going forward in a positive direction, people will be like, oh my gosh, this matters, what she is saying, what she is doing.
Yep.
Like we are walking with like God's sparkles. I don't know how else to say it. The power of our angel, our soul crew. They're our soul crew. Like I'm in my meditations, I'm starting to meet my soul crew because I'm starting to get so excited about like our work, our work and my individual stuff that's going on. I'm starting to kind of feel excitement about it again because I, like you and you, like obviously, like we are walking forward with absolute purpose and meaning. And that for me definitely speaks to the other side, to the universe, to God's messaging, to what we're actually kind of supposed to bring forth before we get, into traps and stuff on planet Earth. And I'm really aligned with that now, and it's exciting, actually.
Yeah. It's amazing because, like, my faith has always been really, really strong. I mean, I was business partners with someone who's an atheist, and I would go, and he's a brilliant person, and I have so much respect for him. And we would go head to head. I said, I just can't imagine living my life without faith. But since all this loss, my trust and my closeness with God has really grown. Did you find that? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I've never felt this close to God. It's normally Jesus was my go-to before I lost everyone, so many people. And now God is my go-to. And I feel, sometimes I feel like him really stirring up so much soulful thoughts. And
I will find myself praying to Ryan. And not in a sacrilegious way, but just in a like, hey, you're right up there near God.
Can
I bend your ear about something? And I mean, I'm sure that's sacrilegious somewhere, somehow.
No, it's
but
not.
For me, it makes me smile. And,
coming from a grieving mother, a gift of a smile is from God. So there is no sacrilegion going on there. If you can smile, that's because you're connecting, in my feeling about it, because not a whole lot, like you guys make me smile because I feel so like I'm in this equal group of understanding.
Right.
Like, and I feel it's crazy because I can laugh with you guys and I find it difficult to laugh with more common conversation.
Right.
Like get me deep and I can start laughing.
Same.
It's the craziest thing.
Same.
Light does not make me laugh. I get bored, I get uncomfortable, and I want out. And like I always know the back door. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm like,
oh,
okay,
gosh.
how am I getting
We
out
all
of this?
know back doors.
Get me out.
Exit strategy.
Exit strategy. I
Out.
mean, every time I go to a
Yes.
place where there's going to be a lot of people, I'm like, I'll meet you there. I'm not going to. I want to be able to get out when I want to.
The
get
Uber
out.
button. I've hit my Uber button a lot.
Yeah.
But so that said, I have a sneaking suspicion right now that camera batteries are dying and we have to download
Perfect.
cards.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I love
me
you
too.
guys.
Love you too. And there are no words, but we have a few. Love you guys.
I love you too.
Cool.
Oh, yay. Hey, thanks for listening. We really hope you felt seen and just a little bit less alone. Grief is something you don't have to carry by yourself. Whether you've lost a child or love someone who has, know that the space is here for you. We're learning as we go. We appreciate your patience with our process and welcome feedback. Be sure to take care of your heart. We hope this podcast will help with that. This is There Are No Words, but we have a few. Thank you for listening. Join us at There Are No Words, but we have a few.